Hello, Dark Reader, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. My name is Katie, and today we are going to be talking about the TikTok sensation, or book talk sensation, Lightlark. This is by Alex Aster. Before I start, though, I have to be totally transparent. I was not a fan of this book. So what I would love for you guys to do is, without me tainting it, go read it yourself. If this has been on a list of books you want to check out, go check it out. I totally encourage you to do that. But come join us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Leave a comment down on the Lightlark section on this minisode. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the book. I don't want to ruin what potentially could be an enjoyable book for you. As my friend likes to say, she doesn't like to yuck somebody's yum, and in this case, I might. Also, if you guys are looking for dark reads in general, something fun for fall and wintertime coming up, check out our show notes at darksideofthelibrary.com. We have a whole host of affiliate links, all with really creepy dark books from nonfiction, YA, adult fiction, comic books, etc. So you can find a whole list over there. Now, let's begin. I'm going to talk about Alex Aster real quick. So there were things in this book that actually made me feel like I was reading a mid-grade level novel. And now I realize Alex Aster actually has written mid-grade level novels, and they have done well. So she wrote the Emblem Island series. So we have Curse of the Night Witch is one of hers. And then we also have Curse of the Forgotten City, which is the second book in the series. And those have done incredibly well. Alex Aster did win awards for the Emblem Island series. And Lightlark is actually going to become a movie. Her book was so hyped on Book Talk that she was signed for a movie almost immediately. Like before Lightlark was available to the public. So I guess we'll see where the movie goes. I might actually watch it. Who knows? Maybe things will make a little more sense. Anyway, so I tend to critique YA books on a lighter scale just because, this is for a YA audience primarily, not for adult readers. But even so, it really did not hit the mark for me. So let me just talk about Lightlark real quick, and I'm going to break down some of the reasons why I was highly disappointed and I was not a fan of this book. So here's what the publisher has to say about the summary of Lightlark by Alex Aster. By the way, this was published August of this year. So here we begin. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears to host the Centennial, a deadly game that only the rulers of 6 realms are invited to play. The invitation is a summons, a call to embrace victory and ruin, baubles and blood. The Centennial offers the 6 rulers one final chance to break the curses that have plagued their realms for centuries. Each ruler has something to hide. Each realm's curse is uniquely wicked. To destroy the curses, one ruler must die. Isla Crown is the young ruler of Wildling, a realm of temptresses cursed to kill anyone they fall in love with. They are feared and despised and are counting on Isla to end their suffering by succeeding at the Centennial. To survive, Isla must lie, cheat, and betray, even as love complicates everything. This book is filled with secrets, deception, romance, and twists worthy of the darkest thrillers. Lightlark is a must-read for fans of legendary fantasy writers such as Marie Lu and Marissa Meyer. It's for grade levels 8 and up, or reading ages 13 years old and up. We even have this really cool book cover. It's got a heart, and there's flowers on top of it blooming, all latched onto this bleeding heart. Here's a few things about this book. It's hardly dark. If anything, this is like a romance. This is almost strictly romance. There's no mystery. There's no thrilling. It's fantasy too, I suppose. So unfortunately, this did not hit any of those dark marks, except for the fact that she has to eat a heart every month. Oh no. That was it though. We've got this summary that kind of screams Hunger Games, right? I loved Hunger Games, I have to say. I don't know about you, but Katniss, to me, the reason why she was so successful was because she's essentially a sociopath, at least in the book. Jennifer Lawrence gave her heart, and I'm fine with that. And I also kind of like the division or categories of people, especially in fantasy realms. That's why Avatar, The Last Airbender is so fun. You have the Fire Nation, the Air Nomads, and the Water we have everything, right? I'm okay with this. But here's why I was saying earlier that it felt mid-level reading. So we have wildlings, right? We're introduced to these 6 other realms and their people. And let me list them out for you. We have starlings, moonlings, skylings, sunlings, and no, you're probably wrong. It is not nightlings. They're nightshades. I don't know why she just didn't keep going. She might as well just finished it up. Anyway, so those are our 6 realms, all clearly controlling various aspects of life, I guess. Although we have starling, moonling, skyling, sunling, all essentially, they all have like basically the same realm. What, you know what I mean? 3 of them are celestial. So anyway, so that was kind of my gripe, was like the naming systems in the story. It was a little immature. So not only that, all of the realm are a little corny, like the naming systems, but the people in the realms also have names associated. So Azul is for skyling people. We have Grimshaw for a nightshade. We have Celeste as a starling. I mean, yeah, the naming system wasn't my favorite. Plus, Isla is carrying around a thing called a star stick. A star stick that's used to portal around, which she hardly uses. It's like she just has it sometimes. I don't know. The story itself was so all over the place. It just ended up being just this mess of stuff on top of each other, meant to probably shock and awe, but if anything, it was just like, what is even happening right now? It was also predictable at the same time. So you just knew that somebody was going to betray her, somebody was evil, or somebody was good, or it wasn't surprising. But the way it was written was just a hot mess. You'll have like 5 pages where they're doing one thing, and then all of a sudden they're in a totally different place. The summary, it's a lie. It's not even the plot, really. It's like so loosely the plot of the story. It's background noise from the actual story in Lightlark. Isla's trying to apparently save her realm, and the plan is that she's going to steal powers from the king. Isla has no power, so that's also not indicated in the summary. That's obviously a huge problem, especially as a representative of an entire realm, right? We have 6 realms and she has 0 power. So not only is Isla supposed to be this stoic warrior, she is awesome. She's a great swordsman, she's a great fighter, but that's the thing that really drives me crazy too. She's been taught, clearly having rigorous training to be this amazing fighter. She still cannot do the plan as what she should be doing. I never felt like it was that vital for her to protect the realm. It's like the character itself wasn't actually taking it seriously, because she would keep making these really juvenile mistakes to propel the storyline to go forward. Just the things that she does is just so frustrating. It's actually kind of funny because closer to the end of the story, she mentioned something about one of the characters, how he put his realm before her, and yet that was what she was supposed to be doing the entire time. And she was upset that this character did that to her, put her on the back burner for their realm. Wait a minute, that is actually the point of this novel, is you are supposed to protect your realm, and you're supposed to give yourself power, or you're supposed to bring power back to your realm and break this curse, because your curse, for some reason, is the worst curse out of all of the other curses. We have a storyline that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and there's a lot of these twists and turns where it just kind of gets really old. It's not a twist and a turn if, 1, it's predictable, and 2, if it happens all the all the time. Like, it happens all the time. She's like, I don't know who to trust, and I'm gonna go over to this person, and oh, I can't trust this person. Let's go to the next person. Why don't you trust yourself? It's just really crazy and frustrating. Isla is also one of the youngest, and she has a relationship with Celeste. They're supposed to be really good friends. You don't really understand why. That's another problem with the book. There was no reason for anybody to really get along or be with each other or fall in love, or there's just I didn't feel any connection at all. So Isla is supposed to be, so she, one, has no powers. Two, she is the representation of her realm for the Centennial. The point is for her to steal the king's powers. She needs to survive, at least, these very powerful beings who have been around for centuries. I mean, the king, I believe, is like 500 years old or something like that. So these guys have been around forever, and they're very, very powerful people with magical abilities. Celestial sun abilities, or Grimshaw the Nightshade has all these dark, shadowy abilities and can feel people's emotions, and Isla can't do shit. She's just a really awesome warrior. You would think that the realm would send in their top warrior into this place with a mission to survive or steal the king's powers, which means don't detour from the plan. Don't fall in love with people. One, because why would you? You're trying to save a realm which seems to be borderline extinct. And two, it's literally a part of your curse. And yet Isla is so easily swayed. So, okay, I actually laughed out loud because some of these parts are a little cringy. And they're so early on in the book. Isla follows her loins throughout the entire story. She doesn't make the correct decisions. She always messes things up. But she's driven by her lusting after people, especially Grimshaw. So when they say things too like, oh, this is a story about enemies to lovers, it's not. Grimshaw I'm not even joking. When she first enters to Lightlark for this Centennial thing. I mean, it is page 30. He's already grinning at her, flirting with her, wanting to be with her, very clearly. It gets just exponentially weirder. Page 100, so this is a 400-page book. First of all, they're not even supposed to be allies even at this point. They shouldn't be allied with anybody. Even Celeste, who's supposed to be Isla's best friend, and her have to keep it very secretive that they are even working together. So in Isla, it has a goal, like I've mentioned before, but for some reason she keeps she flirts with this Grim guy for, I don't even know where the connection is. It's just ridiculous. Alright, so here's some lines. Grim was shielding her. She could feel his breath against her forehead. Isla tried not to focus on what else she could feel. I mean, else is in italics. Also, another quote is, he looked down at her. Have you decided to change realms, Heart Eater? Oh yeah, he calls her Heart Eater. He said, reaching up and taking a strand of her colored hair between his fingers. If so, you might consider Nightshade. We can't compete with Skyling when it comes to sweets or inventive drinks, but if debauchery is what you're after, his dark gaze gleamed in amusement. We are most famed for our thorough exploration of pleasure. I mean, this is like page 100, you guys, and I literally laughed. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It's just so ridiculous. And another thing, too, we're kind of thrown into this, and usually that would be okay, but then we get a few bits of just like history dumping, where this is kind of what the world is supposed to be like and what's going on here, but it's never really fully fleshed out. Really couldn't tell you exactly what's going on or the world or what it really looks like, what it really feels like. Some of the descriptors throughout the story too are really interesting. Like the sun is always compared to a yolk, dripping, or things are like, or thingy. I don't know. It's just the weirdest writing style. It's just very disappointing for something that's been blown up and people are saying just how fantastic this piece of writing is. But then when you get, I don't know, when I've gotten through it, I was just like, I can't agree. Some of these things don't really make any sense. After 500 years of doing the Centennial, Why is it that they haven't killed one leader yet? Why do they keep doing this centennial? There's a lot of questions that are left unanswered, and you're just kind of, I don't know, I feel like they're almost just left there. I think this could have been a really fun and unique story, especially if we expanded on the world a little bit further. But we focus so much on Isla's weird obsession with specific characters. And the one thing that was the worst thing about this entire experience was that the hype on Book Talk and the marketing surrounding this book was incredibly misleading. So there's a lot of things that this book does. It utilizes tropes heavily. It just feels like a bunch of different plots that have been done before, just shoved together to make a different story that really doesn't have a whole lot of plot behind it. It doesn't have a lot of character development. I didn't have a genuine connection with any of the characters, and I never felt like the characters really had a genuine connection to each other. Maybe it was an editing issue too, some of the descriptor words as you're reading it. There's just a lot of issues with the book in general. The plot, how it was actually written, the characters, the tropes, the summary is not at all, this book isn't even at all really about the centennial. There's just a lot of issues. Overall, and it's so hard, again, to convey and illustrate a lot of these issues. Lots of people have done a way better job than I have. If you were anticipating on reading Lightlark because you wanted a really fun, dark YA book that was similar to Hunger Games, this isn't the book. I'm sorry. So again, for me, this book is probably about a 1 out of 5. And it's really disappointing because I think a lot of people were really excited about this book and they were let down, unfortunately. So this is Lightlark. This is by Alex Aster. It was a Book Talk sensation and it is heavily divided. But I would also like to hear the opposite perspective if people do have one. So for other dark reads, though, you can come check us out on our Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube channel. And again, check out our show notes at Dark Side of the Library. You can also find us on Amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library. If you are looking for more Halloween aesthetic things, we do more than just books. We do witchy essentials, Halloween decorations, creepy gothic children's toys, all kinds of cool stuff over there. And you can watch us live stream, and we'd love to hear from you guys, of course. Thank you so much for listening to my ranting and raving today. I very much appreciate it. Have a creeptastic week. I'll see you next time.